Hi, and welcome to the last ever episode of the Sports Zone. I know you guys have probably been wondering where we are, why we haven't been posting. We've been having technical difficulties. YouTube does not like us. Final Cut Pro does not like us. But this episode's going to get out to you right before finals, so you'll have something to do on finals week. Anyways, I'm Rachel Franks.
And I'm Tamia Spells. On today's show, we'll be talking about today's topics, covering a lot of important topics that has been going on in the sports world since we last talked to you guys, and just a lot just in this week. Then we're going to let you hear from tech students with the Man on the Street segment about the draft. And then we're going to have our own NFL mock draft. And you'll hear about Rachel and I's top picks for the first round of the draft. Lastly, we're going to finish it off with a game of quick picks. We're going to have to choose between one team or another, one person or another, and you'll get to see who we pick.
Okay, so first thing, today's topics. First topic, everyone's talking about it. Everyone hates him. Sterling, NBA owner of the Clippers, no longer NBA, or soon to be no longer NBA owner of the Clippers. How much do you hate him, Tamia?
Oh, girl. He is one of the worst. But you know, the sad part is that it's more people like him in those positions. You know, like he just got caught, like he just got exposed. And another thing about this whole situation is like he's always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it. You heard about like the discrimination, the legal, the practices in housing discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
Since he wouldn't let like minorities rent from his properties, he wouldn't let anybody other than Koreans rent in Koreatown. He said Latinos, Hispanics just hang around, smoking and drinking and hanging outside the building, and blacks tenants smell and attract vermin to the property. So he's been that way for a while.
And he's been that way for a while, and the NBA has actually tried to get rid of him a couple of times before. I think in 1990...
82.
Okay, 82. I was way off there.
No, yeah.
They tried to get rid of him. Like, it hasn't been a secret, and at least, like, people in the NBA, about how much of a horrible person he is. It's more just the mass media that's just finding out.
The other thing that we need to shed light on is the NAACP, the LA chapter of the NAACP was going to give him a Lifetime Achievement Award. I think for the second time they already gave him an award previously. The head of the NAACP just said that they accepted the letter of resignation from the president of the LA chapter. But still, like, he was giving money to these organizations and they can just be bought off. Like, that's crazy. That's just crazy to think that that's how everything is still operating in 2014. And then another thing that I want to hear your opinion on is, like, the protests, the Clippers protests.
Well, that's definitely an interesting topic. I can imagine it being really hard for any of the players to want to play with him, and for Doc Rivers to want to coach with him as their owner. If it was me, I might have refused, but it's the playoffs. It's a lot of money at stake. It's hard. There's a lot of people who depend on it, like fans. It'd be a hard decision anyway. I was really admired what the Golden State said they were going to do. That they were going to boycott if Silver didn't bring down the harshest punishments possible. I mean, turning your shirts inside out, like, that's somewhat of a protest, but it doesn't really do anything either way. It's showing that they don't agree. I might have just said, let's not play for him.
Yeah, I think, like, turning your shirts inside out, it did nothing. Like, that wasn't like, you might as well just, like, you didn't turn your jerseys inside out. You turned your, like, practice shirts inside out. You might as well just left it the correct way, because either way, like, it's the money, like you said, it's a lot of money at stake, but you play because it's a lot of money at stake, and the money is going to him anyway. So what is that really saying? That, like, you know, an argument out of here, like, they had families to feed. Y'all getting paid millions of dollars. Your family won't starve because you're trying to, like, stand up for what's right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that the players have so much power, and, like, people know, the people higher up know that, so they try to, like, I mean, that's why Silver, gave that punishment. But I think, like, people on the outside looking in, they don't understand how much power the players really have. Like, that's just like when you think back to, like, sit-ins and boycotts and stuff, like, how much power these people had. I think that kind of gets, like, discredited.
And by not doing anything, like, I don't know if you heard some of other Sterling's was talking about how he sort of owned them and he fed them and clothed them and sort of referring to them as slaves. He's like, oh, I do this for them, I do this for them. Like, he sort of seems to believe that it all rides on him, that without him, the Clippers wouldn't exist. I think the players could have exhibited how much they matter and how the game couldn't go on without them if they hadn't played.
Yeah, because they'll sit out for a lockout to get more money, but you won't sit out for like fundamental rights and racial discrimination and stuff like that, especially when you're a role model to so many like young kids. So I was kind of like disappointed in that. At the end of the day, like, it's a lot of talk about if he's like going to be forced to sell the team, or it's looking likely that he'll be forced to sell the team, but his wife will still have ownership or something like that. So either way he wins. When he sells the team, it's like, I think they're like reportedly worth like $575 million. He bought the team for like 12 point something million. So like it's like payday. Like he wins.
I think he wins. Like he's gonna win anyway. But I do admire what Silver did with the NBA. I think they did like the maximum they could do. There's really nothing more you can do. Like this in America, like you can't like steal someone's money. You can't like force them to sell a team and make no profit. That's just illegal. You can't. There's nothing else you can do about it to stop him. In the end of the day, he has money. He has power. He can essentially do what he wants. A random point, when it comes to the protest, I can't really believe that the players and the coach didn't know how much of a horrible person he was beforehand. They had to know. Like he's been blatantly racist for years and years and years. They've known about it and still played for him. So that's one other thing to consider. Like, yeah, like now they're protesting or now they don't agree with it, but it's not like they haven't had any inkling at all.
Right. Because, like, that's, it was reported about, like, his previous, like, instances of racism was reported. It's there. It's out there. Like you said earlier, it's not the mass, the mass media is just getting a hold of it. But, like, the players had to know that. Like, that's common knowledge. Just like the NAACP had to know that. Like, it was publicized knowledge. Yeah. It was out there. If you're going to give a Lifetime Achievement Award to somebody, if you're going to go play for this person or, visit his home, like, take his money, like, you're going to do a background check on who this person is. You Google their name, and that's going to come up. Like, especially if you're in that area. The Los Angeles Times is going to come up, and the stories about it, they're going to come up. So, it's just like, how can you just, like, completely disregard it for $1? Another interesting point is the list of people who are bidding to own the Clippers. I heard Oprah was up there. That's my pick. I want Oprah to get it. I heard Rick Ross and Diddy are bidding together. Oprah's bidding on her own. Go independent woman.
I heard Magic Johnson wants to get in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard Merriweather wants to get in there. I agree. Oprah, a female owner, that would be really awesome. I think Magic could do cool things. Like, Magic, MJ, sort of like rivalry teams. I mean, not that they're at all rivalry teams. Clearly the other side of the country, but that would still be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so now we're going to transition into Jameis Winston and the trouble that he just got into.
Stealing crab legs from a grocery store? Like, come on, man.
I'm so disappointed in him. Like, I feel like the last time we, like, had a serious discussion on the show about Jameis Winston, it was about, like, some allegations and some trouble issues. And, everybody was Team Jameis and fighting for Jameis. And then, he goes and he steals $32 worth of crab legs. Like,
I think it's funny that it happened, that he actually sold the crabs this week right after NCAA announced that they're going to have unlimited meals and food for athletes, which is awesome. But it could have been a good argument for the case if it had happened a couple weeks before.
Yeah, like, it's interesting. This unlimited meals and snacks things is interesting as well because, like, I don't understand how that's going to work. Like, when you look at, like, Virginia Tech, like, the players already get, like, the most expensive meal plan. And then even when you think of, like, all athletes, like, it's some players right now. Like, I was just telling you earlier how we had to go to Oregon because a lot of people had, like, hundreds and hundreds of dollars still on their meal plan, a lot of athletes. So it's like they have so much money left over. So, like, how many of them really need, more money for, like, or how is it going to just be, dispersed? How is it going to be accounted for? I would just like to know, like, is it going to go, because not everybody lives on campus, is it going to go to meal plans, is it going to go to groceries? Like, especially, how do you define, like, snacks? Like, what counts as a snack, what counts as a meal, It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see.
I'm just so disappointed in James for stealing crab, just for stealing in general, and then stealing crab legs. And I'm sure like somebody somewhere is sending him some money. Like, let's just keep it real. I don't think he's going without. Like, I just think like people start to feel entitled. You know, people get used to this type of treatment, and he probably did take one for the team. He probably just, I'm sure that's not his first time.
Yeah.
You know, because it's crab legs. Like, you don't
Start off stealing crab legs.
you don't start off stealing crab legs. So, it's, you know, so I'm sure it wasn't his first time. He just got caught, and now he forgot to pay.
I mean, not going back to the rape thing or the sexual assault case, but in the end, he got away with it, whether he did it or not. He walked off sort of free. Like, once you start walking off free, once the police start letting you do stuff, like, if you look into the case files, it was really revealed how bad the police handled the case and how they really did a horrible job. Once you get away with one big, huge thing, why not get away with stealing some crab legs?
Yeah, just that sense of entitlement. We hope this unlimited meals and snacks thing will prevent athletes from having to feel like they have to steal from grocery stores to eat.
Yes. So as you guys know, the spring game was last weekend for Virginia Tech. We got a chance to talk to some students and alumni who were tailgating before the game about the spring game and just about what they're expecting for the draft. So take a look.
Sure they will. I don't feel like Virginia Tech ever gets a lot of attention, no matter how good we are or how many good players we have. But I think that certainly the Hokies that we have that play in the NFL now who weren't drafted high have definitely made a name for themselves and shown that they are certainly worthy of playing in the NFL. So I'm sure these guys will probably be the same.
Seeing how well they've been doing these past couple years, second round.
I think third.
Third round.
Third round.
Kyle. Yeah, Kyle. We can go with
Okay.
Kyle.
If we have anyone good, second round.
You think so?
Yeah, second round was a good one.
You got the Kyle Fuller, Anton Exum, James Gale.
Oh,
Yeah.
those kind of names, definitely first round then. Yeah.
Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah. Logan Thomas.
I don't know.
Yep, yeah.
I'm not really that. I don't know that much about the draft, unfortunately.
Kyle Fuller is doing very well. He should be a very good prospect. Anton doing good. Gail is up. Is he doing good? What do y'all think? I feel like Kyle will go in the first round, but that's just me personally. I think I would agree with that. I don't know about first round, but a single digit.
Okay.
Well, it looks like Kyle Fuller is definitely a top 30 pick. So Logan's probably second or third day. And I could see James Gale going on the third day as well.
Well, Kyle is expected to go first round or early second. Tone is doing pretty well as well. Gail, I'm really not sure how he's doing, but I know he's in the mix. So yeah, let's hope we get a lot of Hokies in the league.
Now that you got to hear from some students and alumni about the spring game and about their draft predictions from our players, now you're gonna hear from Rachel now on our draft predictions. So we're gonna have a mini mock draft and let you hear our top 10 and some of our Tech players where we have them going in a draft, if we have them going in a draft.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and give my top. Mine's Jadavian Clowney. I think he's amazing. I think people have been saying some bad things about him, like they doesn't try hard, a bunch of stuff. I think it's all incorrect. I won't use some language, but I think it's incorrect. I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL, and I think anyone is foolish not to pick him first. And that's the Texans, sorry, with the first pick.
Okay, so my first pick is the same thing because of the same reasons. He's just like an athletic freak. He's built like he goes and gets it, and it's been those he doesn't work as hard. I mean, towards the end of his career, his collegiate career, which is usual with players that know they're going to the draft. So that's not something that concerns me too much. I think you'll be a fool if you don't take Jadavian Clowney. If the Texans don't take Jadavian Clowney with the first pick overall.
So, going to number 2, I have Greg Robinson.
I have Greg Robinson as well. This is for the Rams.
I really think offensive linemen are the way to go. You win games in the trenches. I think a lot of teams need offensive linemen. They're really, to me, one of the most vital positions on the field, and he's a great offensive lineman.
Ditto.
Who do you have third, Tamia?
Third, going to the Jaguars, I have Anthony Barr, who's an offensive linebacker. So you were just talking about offensive linemen, and I think he's a big, strong offensive lineman from UCLA. And we played UCLA, so we got to see some of the players in action, so we know that they're serious. So, yeah, I think that the Jaguars need to take him.
Okay, I got our boy Sammy. I know we've seen him a couple times playing Clemson. I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. He's really fast, really athletic. The Jaguars could certainly use a good wide receiver. So that's where I see him going.
So, fourth pick overall, going to the Browns, I have Jake Matthews. Who do you have, Rachel?
I actually have Jake Matthews, too. I mean, once again, offensive linemen. They go high in the draft every year. He's a good tackle. I mean, he's from Texas A&M. He's provided protection for Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, who is little, so you know, like, he had to have some good protection up there. So, yeah, I picked him as well.
Speaking of Johnny Manziel, I have him as my next pick. I don't particularly like him, but I think he's going to go high. Big personality. I think he'll bring in a lot as a player, but also just bring in a lot of media, bring in money, bring in fans, bring in excitement to the program. The Raiders could use that. We'll see if he'll actually be successful, but I think it's sort of a move that will happen.
Okay, I didn't pick Johnny. For this pick, I picked Sammy Watkins. You already talked about him a lot. So, yeah, I think the Raiders need a wide receiver, so I gave them.
For my next sixth pick, throw it back to offensive line. I got Taylor Lumen from Michigan going to the Falcons. Falcons struggled hardcore at a lot of things last year, which was surprising. But, once again, offensive lineman.
I gave the Falcons an offensive lineman, too. I gave them Khalil Mack. He's kind of big, not as big as Taylor, but he's big, not as tall, but he's aggressive, and I think that, you know, like we said, offensive linemen go high.
Okay. Sort of my first defensive player for number 7, going to the Buccaneers. I picked Aaron Donald. He's from Pittsburgh. He's a scrappy guy, like a lot of people from Pittsburgh, and I can see him doing well there.
I picked to go to the Buccaneers, C.J. Mosley, inside linebacker, so I picked the defensive personnel as well. I think that's where they're needed. And he's from Alabama. He's like, his football IQ is really high. So I feel like he's like a good player, a smart player, instinctive player, and I think that he'll be a good pick for them.
Okay. Who do you have at 8?
8, I have Blake going to the Vikings from UCF. He's a quarterback with, well, I won't say the most hype because Johnny Manziel has a lot of hype, and I just feel like it's a lot of hype. So I can't give Johnny Manziel the first quarterback pick that I picked, but yeah, this guy has been like all you hear about pretty much, and he has the skill set, and yeah, I mean, he's the opposite of kind of what we saw in a quarterback and Logan Thomas at Virginia Tech, so I think he's a good pick.
Well, I'm definitely disagreeing with you on this one. I don't like Blake at all. I have another quarterback as my 8th pick. I have Teddy Bridgewater. He was so great for Louisville. I'm excited he's going because he won't be in the ACC to take us on. But, yeah, he's just really smart. He's a great athlete. He's a great guy. He's a great passer. I think he's going higher than Bridgewater. He's actually played at a high level of football, whereas Bridgewater played for Florida Central.
Yeah, UCF.
Florida?
Yeah.
Louisville a little bit higher up there, and I think he's played better teams, seen better defenses.
Who do you have for the 9th pick going to the Buffalo Bills?
I have my man Mac, of course, outside linebacker. Buffalo Bills can use everything. They can use everything. But he's a good linebacker, and I think he's a good pick for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I picked Eric Ebron because they needed a tight end, and we saw him. He's from North Carolina, so we saw him in ACC play, and he is amazing. Like, he's just very skilled. He knows where the ball is going to be, and he makes plays happen. So I think that they can use a lot of things. They need a tight end, and he's a good tight end to pick. So I think he should go ninth.
He was definitely good against us.
Yeah.
Okay, my 10th and final pick is going to go to a Hokie. I got Kyle Fuller up there. We know he's a great cornerback. Virginia Tech is known for great cornerbacks. DB University. He got called up to the green room, which we're all excited about. Will he really go as high as 10? Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think he is one of the best in the league. I know a lot of people have been going back and forth on who's the best with maybe someone who you have picked, but he'll go high. I think he'll go high. Detroit Lions have had a history of picking a lot of Virginia Tech players, so they like us. They have Corey right now, his brother. Be cute to see them together. How about you?
I first want to say that I love Kyle. I love Kyle, but I'm not sure if he's going as high as 10. I think he's one of the better corners in the league, or in the NCAA. But I don't know. I think DeQuez Denard, he is a really, really, really good corner. He's probably the top cornerback prospect in the NFL draft. And so I think he has a better chance of going higher than Kyle. Yeah, I just think he's an overall, he's a good guy. He is good. I think Kyle is good, too. And I would like to see Kyle, with his brother in Detroit. But I think there are a lot of options available to Kyle that some other corners might not have. I don't know. They were so, that was not, one of my toughest picks, I think. But I had to go with the quiz. Sorry, Kyle.
I think it's close. I think it would be even closer if Kyle didn't get injured.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Yeah. That's another setback. We know his capabilities, but I haven't seen him play since his groin injury. So,
true.
I know he's been having really good workouts. I seen his combine workout. So, I was overall impressed. But, game plays is a little different.
Well, where do you think Kyle's going to go?
Well, I have Kyle going in the first round, but I have him going to the Eagles with the 22nd overall pick.
How about other players? Do you have any insight on where Logan and Tone and Gail are going?
I don't have any insight on where Logan is going. I know he's ranked 90 overall, so that's pretty good. He's better. He's ranked higher than Taj Boyd. I don't know what that says. Maybe Taj Boyd just had a bad year. I don't know. I think it's interesting that he's still being drafted as a quarterback prospect because I really feel like he's more of a tight end prospect. But maybe if he gets the right training, with the right coach, that can really improve his skill set. But I feel like in the league, you don't want fumble, you don't want interception, so you kind of you're gonna try to avoid that,
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes. I think one factor people might consider is when they draft him, they know they can play him at QB. They know they can also have the prospect of playing him at tight end, and he might be able to go either way. He just also had a really impressive combine,
he did have a really good combine,
which impressed a lot of people. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him going a little bit earlier than expected, maybe end of third round, where more people are seeing him sixth round. But at the same time, I have been disappointed by him many of times in my life. So I wouldn't be surprised also if he goes sixth round and never does anything in the NFL.
I predict around fifth, in the fifth round. I don't know. I don't know. You never know because it's combine, the skill set was there, but in game, in NFL league, game it's just different. So I don't know. How do you feel about Gail?
Gail, I'm sad to say, don't think he's going to be drafted. I think he's going to end up signing with the team for sure, but I don't really know if he's going to be drafted or go very high. I haven't heard many people talking about him, which isn't to say he won't be drafted, but of course Virginia Tech's known for good defensive ends, but I can just see him making a practice squad maybe the first year after a couple years if he stays healthy being a backup. But
yeah, I don't know if he'll get drafted. If he does, it'll be probably really late in the draft. He, like you said, I haven't heard many people talking about him either. Then at the combine, he like tried to pull one of the like people down with him on the broad jump and still haven't counted. So like character like goes a long way for coaches and stuff. So I don't know. I think he'll definitely sign with the team. I think he'll definitely like be on the team, but I'm just not sure if he'll be through the draft.
Okay. Tone, obviously a friend of the show.
Yeah.
I think right now he's in 89th place on the draft list. Where do you think he's gonna go?
I'm not sure. I think, like I said, like with Kyle, I think he has like a lot of options open with him. Like, maybe let's hope for like third round-ish, fourth round maybe. I mean, if you're ranked 89th, it's kind of like it puts you like in that fourth round, fifth round kind of projectile. I think he had like a pretty decent combine. You know, he got bigger, he got stronger. So, who like, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping it's like late third, early fourth, somewhere in the, you know, definitely before fifth or mid-fifth or something like that.
I hope that he goes earlier. I sort of, with all the, like, the injuries that he had sort of this entire year.
Yeah.
I sort of see him going 5th round, 6th round. I hope he goes higher. I mean, Virginia Tech DB's good rep. He's a smart guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went 5th or 6th. But I'll just be happy if he gets drafted. Okay, last segment of the day. We are going to do a quick picks, all relating to NBA subjects. So, first quick pick is Thunder or Grizzlies. I'm going to go with Thunder.
I'm going with Thunder too.
Hawks, Pacers.
1,
2, 3.
3.
Hawks.
I'm going with the Hawks too. So we both going with the Hawks. I think they're the underdogs.
Pacers have been struggling lately. Okay, Clippers or Warriors?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, finally we disagree. I think Clippers are going to use motivation from Sterling. America is now rooting for them, and they're also a good team with a good coach.
I think because of like all of this Sterling thing, Warriors are going to be the underdog in a sense. And so, I mean, I like the Warriors for their initial idea to take a stand, and yeah, go Warriors.
Okay, last one, we're going to go to the NBA draft now. Who do you think will be a top lottery pick, Parker or Wiggins?
1, 2,
3. Parker!
Yeah.
I think he proved this year. I think there's a lot of hype around Wiggins, and he was good, but I mean, he wasn't the next LeBron James. Parker seems smart, good.
Impressive. I don't know. He's just a dynamic player. I think he impressed a lot of people. He was a freshman, and he played like, I mean, he did do well. So.
Question, who's going to win the finals? Go.
Hopefully the Wizards.
Going with the Heat 4 times, 3 times, I mean, they're going to win. Hey guys, thanks for watching us this season of the Sports Zone. We tried out something new. We had a lot of fun with it. We hope you guys had a lot of fun. We love you all. I'm extremely sad. End of Sports Zone. Tamia is leaving me. What am I going to do next year?
It'll be okay. I'll just have to FaceTime you all of the time and let you FaceTime into my classroom. Yeah, thank you all for watching. We really like appreciate like feedback, just like your comments, just you guys saying like, oh, I saw your show, I liked your show, I liked y'all talking about this, I didn't like y'all talking about that. So I mean, that's all been like really good feedback to us. We really appreciate it. All of you who followed us on Twitter and participated in our Twitter games, and definitely everybody who participated on the Man on the Street segment. I mean, we couldn't have, you are an integral part of our show, whether you realized it the next day or not. Yeah, we really appreciate all of you. This was so much fun. I'm going to miss it next year. Maybe, you know, Rachel and I link up in a few years and we'll, like, have a reunion show or something.
Watch for us on ESPN. Sports Zone, next stop.
Mostly her. Watch for her on ESPN.
No, watch for Sports Zone on ESPN. Okay, thanks so much, you guys. And remember,
Keep it classy, keep it real, and stay in the sports zone. Woo!